Hello, good morning. If you're watching with me this morning, I'm going to do some sound healing for us today. I call it causal body sound harmonization. I will explain that. Maybe just need to start with a chuckle today. It's a gloomy day outside. Someone saw me post this, my friend Carolyn, and she misread it and thought it said casual body and wondered things about me at that point. But no, this working with the element of the non-physical, intangible, invisible human field, which I'm calling the causal body, and some practices call the causal body. If you're watching me on recording or on YouTube right now, why don't you just go ahead and skip like 5, 6, 7 minutes? I just have to get the preamble out. Some of you just don't need to hear it, and I honor that. So anyway, I like to do this every couple of weeks. If you're following me in general at the moment, you're probably seeing a set of works that I do. I'm doing this with sound. You can see my dids just here. You can see the gong right there. I do this with sound. In the middle of the week, this week, I'll be doing a work on the full moon, and that's with no sound and no music, and it's pure meditation visualization journey, okay? And a couple of times in the month, I've just done it, do something called Healing Currents, which does involve music, but very little words, okay? So, hello there, by the way, Kathleen. Consider the pathways, right? Consider the different pathways that there are to get to your uniqueness of being and allow that to express through the body. Visualization, words, sound and music, silence, a mix of all of these things. We are tricky beings. We've got an ego. An ego is not bad. An ego just wants us to be what we were yesterday, okay? And so a lot of the art of healing is getting round that. Let's not even call it the ego. A lot of the art of healing is getting round the part of us that doesn't want to grow, that wants to stay what it was yesterday, that wants to keep itself as it was yesterday. And we, as the wiser overseer of that, all of it living inside the body, we have to find a way around it, okay? That is a deep act of self-love. If you look at your distractions, if you look at what keeps you small, an act of self-love over a longer time frame is anything that's going to expand you, right? And it's going to expand you. I woke up to a beautiful meme. It said something to the effect of, instead of telling God how big your problems are, tell your problems how big your God is. Now, some of you might have a real knee-jerk reaction to the G word, okay? It's just a word. The essence of what's said there I really, really like, and I want to put it in a different way for you, okay? So if you're not feeling good, or if you're feeling diminished or shrinking, or you're bothered by, or something that's keeping you up at night over a period of days, okay? If you imagine you, and I'll try and draw it out like that, you're like this big, and the problem, as it were, is this big, okay? So it's got a greater vibratory field than you, okay? If we're arguing the toss about what you are. Now, we have something that's bothering us, something that's weighing us, something that's hurting us, something that's sitting on top of us. It has a greater vibrational field than you. The simple thing to do, and it is this simple, is you make your vibratory field bigger than it, okay? And what I've just said, it's so simple, not necessarily easy, but if you then consider, all right, we've got the ego which wants us to be what we were yesterday, today, how am I gonna get round that? Am I gonna do something physically which makes my vibrational field bigger? Am I gonna ease my essence into a magnified state through sound, through music, through talking to someone, through enjoying myself, any of these things? But the ways to make your vibrational field, they're almost infinite. It draws down to, it boils down to, it distills down to, do you want to? Do you have the inclination, right? So I'm working with a lot right now. I have a lot to work with, you guys watching this right now, because you have the inclination, right? That's the open door right there. So the intention the intention that came to me for our work today is because I've been sort of asking for intentions rather than just doing my thing, you know. And if I just did my thing, that would be fine too. But I've been asking for intentions. The intention of our work today, and you know, it's only going to be 25 minutes as usual. The intention is to do something with the misplaced, displaced anger that's going on. A lot of people just don't know what to do with that, and it's, of course, as we all know, anger is covering hurt, isn't it? We all know that. And people don't know what to do with their pain. Have we ever known what to do with it? So what happens is it gets projected out and it just sits in the collective, right? And that's what we want to get moving today. The causal body, if anyone hasn't heard me say it, would effectively be the outer layer of the energy field, the outer layer. And that's an important one because that's, in my awareness, that's where the outside gets in. That's where the outside gets in initially. That's where you interface with everything else. So I would say it matters. I would say it matters how well that's doing. And so we've got a very charged time in our lives and it's not going to get any less charged. How clear and clean and happy we're keeping that part of us is going to make the difference for everything you do and everything that happens to you. It's important. So just to take you through my process here, you probably see a bit of the crystals I've got here. This is an energy grid I work with for this purpose. I work loosely on the framework of the Tree of Life, the Sephiroth, because if you look at it, it's sort of humanoid in form. If any of you were to ask me for a distance healing session, I'm working like this. I work as if you're there on the table in front of me. And that's my connection point to you. That's my vibrational bridge to you. And so if you can conceive, we've got a body of people, however many 100 or 1,000 will watch this over the course in time. And this is my portal to them. This is my portal to you. And that's what I'm going to be working with. So my process, regardless of the tools I use, I work in 3 steps. And the first one is largely clearing and moving prior defunct vibrational patterns. I said too many words there. Breaking up useless patterns, okay? As I would, maybe if I'm going to start talking English. Going to use the gong, going to use the didgeridoo. These are loud, strong sounds, okay? After that, we do a balancing, because if you notice you're weak, you go up, you go down, you go up, you go down, but there's a median point, isn't there? Right? So what we want to do is get that median point a little higher, so you go higher and your lows are higher as well, if that makes sense. So we want to get that median point up. And if we don't do a balancing there, then the tendency is to go back to what we know, which is a little lower. Right now we want to just get all of us together going a little higher, don't we? Don't we? The last thing I'm going to do is work with a bowl. You just about see it. Me in spatial orientation, dear God. There we go, the bowl. There's a crystal bowl. It's not a super special bowl. Some of you probably got way nicer ones than I have. This is a regular white crystal frosted bowl. I like the sound of it. It works with the other things I have. I'm going to be using that to, as it were, tune and raise us higher, okay? Because I want to see, well, okay, how high can this bar go? I don't need to send us up here. What's the point? We don't live up here. We live around here. We're interacting with each other. We're talking to each other. We care about each other, right? Making an effort. This is where we're making a difference. So it's like, okay, bear in mind that. How high can we get us today? Is my question. It is my exploration. And the last thing I'm going to do is work with the flute. And with the flute, I'm weaving this high part of us back into our bodies. That's where we want it. That's where we want it. Okay. So same as usual, as it were, but we're looking to do something with the lost, agitated energy that's kind of just floating around. We want to do something with that. That's where I'm going with this. All right. So most of you probably know the drill. Get yourself comfortable. Sit down, lay down. There's nothing you need to do except stay alive for the next 25 minutes. Keep breathing. You can remember to do that. I super appreciate you taking this time with me this morning. So let's just start with I like to just start with a brief prayer to anchor and bring together energy. Take a breath with me. Maybe close your eyes if you wish. And first of all, you just want to call to the clear and sweet and strong presence within you. As you breathe, we're going to take a moment to ground ourselves now. Could take a moment to equally connect above us. Finding our highest point of femininity, highest point of masculinity, and having them in balance together. That's what we're doing right now as we breathe. Just call forth a field of light around you, that you can enjoy this, you can relax, you can be served, you can release, and you can also connect to a deep and high place within yourself. So get yourself comfortable, close your eyes, and let's begin. Let's take a breath. Let's take a breath, everyone. Let's take a breath. Take a breath. You know, I was reminded right at the end, I'm always learning things as I do this, you know. Reminded at the end there that one of the most important sounds, or maybe the most important sound of all, is silence, is nothing, is still, is quiet. Remember that out of that everything comes. And it's a learning process for me too, remembering these things. As I said, the intention going into this today is supporting the agitated. Nothing wrong with agitation. Forgive me. Nothing wrong with agitation. In fact, I'm going to back up even further. The conversation about being empathic, right, taking on energy, doesn't get talked about enough. It's absolutely fine to take on energy. We want to just make sure we release it too. It's actually very important and normal to be empathic. And so we're talking about the state of agitation of energy in the collective at the moment. The only problem is that it's stuck, hasn't gone, it hasn't moved quickly enough. And let that be the endeavor of those who have the will and intention to do something about it. We want to keep breathing. We want to keep breathing. We want to keep breathing. Not get stuck, not get stopped. Just keep breathing, letting it move through. As you do that, you're doing it for other people who maybe don't have the presence of mind to do it. And it matters. It really matters. Really matters. So, lost my train of thought. Probably wasn't that important. So anyway, thank you for staying with me for this 30, 40 minutes here. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Bear in mind, working with agitation and so on, noticing it getting caught in the mind there, the head area here. You're also getting it caught in the root. So interesting. The opposing poles of energy centers getting caught there in that feeling of safety, security, and so on. That's where it's getting caught. That's where it's getting caught. You know, important to watch our tendency to need to be right. There's always another perspective, always no other way of looking at things, and we don't know what truth, you know, with a capital T really is. Think about the course of your life and how many times that's changed, what truth is and what it becomes, and my God, it's becoming different and clearer and morphing with it as the days go by. It's good. It's good. It's growth. It's growth. It's growth. It's growth. I think that truly is what we'd all want. So, why don't I let you all go? Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, wonderful weekend. It's Saturday morning where I am right now. Have a wonderful weekend. I am giving a work with the full moon on that's Wednesday, the 12th. It's the 12th of February. Do that on Wednesday. So if you saw this advertised, I'll put that out in a couple of days too. All right. So, and again, have a wonderful weekend. Thank you for spending the time with me. Be well. God bless. I'll see you soon.